The law office of Broyles and McDonald are back with our 12 teams in 12 days campaign, and today we're breaking down the Towson Tigers. It was a truly historic season for the program last year with the amazing run to the national championship game in Frisco, Texas. The Tigers also had national recognition in this year's NFL draft as Terrence West was selected in the third round by the Cleveland Browns, so he gets to go join LeBron and Johnny Football, right?
I guess we'll see how that one turns out for Mr. West, but, you know, looking back on just how far this program's come in the last 3 years, it's been absolutely remarkable. And to think that we left Frisco, me and you, walking off the field a little bit disappointed, but just to think how far that program has come. Now we had turn the chapters quickly, Bob, because it's 2014. It's time for Towson to keep building bricks, as Coach Ambrose likes to say. And now this is a new team and a new face. You look at, like we said, Terrence West is gone. Peter Athens, the quarterback from last year, is gone. A lot of people need to be replaced, especially in an offensive line. I think that's a huge question for this team. Still, you look at guys like Darius Victor, the offensive rookie of the year in CAA football last year. Connor Frazier, a guy who came in, big time at the Eastern Washington win. So many weapons, I think, offensively that are going to go overlooked. I think there's Spencer Wilkins, Brian Dowling, the receiver, comes back. Derek Joseph comes back. So people are, I think the biggest question for this team is going to be the offensive line. But still, the program and the bar has been raised at Towson, and I think that does wonders for people trying to replace just positions. That does absolute wonders.
At Media Day, we caught up with Towson head coach Rob Ambrose, who talked about replacing many key components on offense.
You know, I was thinking about this, and I'm sure everybody was going to ask me something like that. If Terrence were here right now, he'd tell you it's not necessarily about replacing him, as it is replacing 5 senior offensive linemen and a senior tight end who is also in the NFL right now. Or you could just say it's basically replacing the entire offense, because outside of the fullback and one all-conference wide receiver, they're all gone. The guys behind them were lucky enough to get opportunities during the season, especially early on because of our success, to get in the game and kind of get their feet wet a little bit so they know what to expect. And they were mentored and left a legacy by some really hard-working guys. So, the personalities will be different, the skill sets will be a little bit different, but the expectation and the hard work will be the same. And how it comes out in the wash might look a little different this year, but I don't have any doubt whatsoever that we will be successful.
Defensively, the Tigers have 7 returners, including 3 players on the preseason all-conference team. We can both admit, Tim, we've talked so much over the past 3 years about Terrence West and that offense.
Guilty.
Do the roles change for this team going into 2014?
I don't know if they change in the sense that it's just a complete 360, but I think they change in terms of the pressure that's going to be on the defense, because you looked at the offense the last 2 years and you said, okay, this is where Towson's known for, this is what they're going to be. Then I think it changes now. You look at it, I think it starts with Ty Smith, the cornerback. It starts with Donnell Lewis, another cornerback. A lot of upperclassmen who've had to play and step in for Towson. Ryan Dallaire, Christian Carpenter, the list can go on and on of guys who've made this Towson defense known around CAA football as a defense that's just not scared. I think this defense is so great in my mind because they can line up against anyone and say, try to beat us against the run, try to beat us against the pass. They're not going to be a defense that doesn't give up 100 yards a game or only 200 yards passing. But the physical factor of that defense, I think, is still going to be there. You look at other guys, Ryan Dallaire. I think there's just the physicality, no matter what, if it's new players or players back that I've already mentioned, it's still there, and it's still the mindset of this defense, and I think that's going to be another key for Towson this year.
And physicality is also, you see this defense at times make a lot of splash plays, the interceptions and the fumbles. They know how to force turnovers.
Good teams know when to make timely plays.
Absolutely. Once again, here is Coach Ambrose talking about his defense.
I think that the team overall is the strength. I think that's always the case, that there's every game, every play, every series, it's yin and yang, there's give and take, and there's filling in. I think that defensively we're more experienced, and that's got to play a big role, especially early in the season. That their experience in big games against tough competition has got to really take the lead, to lead the rest of the team in the other 2 phases of the game to make sure we're doing it the right way.
Last year's team motto was "Leave no doubt," and that saying no doubt helped this team get to the national championship. Looking ahead to the 2014 version of the Tigers, what stands out on their schedule, Tim? I'm looking at that November 8th at Villanova on the American Sports Network, and the following week on the 15th versus William & Mary on Comcast Sportsnet.
Well, maybe it's just because I'm excited for the season to start, or maybe I'm just ready for things to get going. I'm going to look just week 1.
Okay.
They're playing Central Connecticut State at home. I think it's the first chance to see how they're going to react after a season reaching the national title. You know, so many times the expectations get overlooked. When talking with Towson, even Coach Ambrose at Media Day, maybe it was just a line, maybe not, but they said a lot of people in the program just did not talk about the national title game. I want to see how that translates over. Their first 4 games are against non-conference foes. Central Connecticut State, like I said, week 2 at West Virginia. West Virginia plays Alabama in week 1, Maryland in week 3. I smell a trap game. They also play Delaware State and North Carolina Central in out-of-conference games. And like you said, that month of October, we know what's going to happen with that Villanova game. It's going to be the Towson D versus the Villanova offense. And we know that the William & Mary game is really just going to be 2 of the best defenses in the league, I think, for this coming season against each other. Really strong schedule. Starts out manageable, turns into something, I think, a little bit where we're going to see the identity of this team.
The Tigers open their season, like you said, at home versus Central Connecticut State on Saturday, August the 30th, with the kickoff set for 6 p.m.
Before BB tries to send us away here, don't forget to check out a pair of video features with Tiger players from last month's Media Day. Watch the Who I Am interviews now on CAAfootball.wordpress.com, a.k.a. the Everyday is Saturday blog.
We are down to the final 4 in our 12 teams and 12 day series. Tim and I will be back tomorrow as we take a look at the William & Mary tribe. For Tim McDonald, I'm Bobby Broyles. We'll see you tomorrow.